You won't believe what just leaked from the heart of Buckingham Palace. Sources deep inside the royal household are shaking as they reveal the devastating truth Catherine has been forced to announce about Prince William. This isn't another routine statement. This is the moment everything changed. Whispers in the corridors say the future of the monarchy hangs by a thread after what Catherine confessed only minutes ago. Staff members are in tears. Advisors are scrambling behind locked doors. And the one question burning through every hidden conversation: how much longer can they keep this buried? Catherine issues heartbreaking news about William. What you're about to read has never been made public. Insiders risked everything to expose the raw, painful reality now tearing through the royal family. The polished image is cracking, and what's underneath is far darker than anyone dared imagine. The midnight meeting that changed everything. Late last night, in a rarely used private drawing room on the second floor of Kensington Palace, Catherine sat alone with three of the most trusted senior aides. No phones. No recordings. Just dim light and the weight of a secret that had become unbearable. Sources who were briefed immediately after say Catherine's voice broke as she delivered the news about William that no one saw coming. She didn't cry, she was beyond tears. She spoke with a cold clarity that left the room frozen. The details of what she revealed about William's condition and the decisions now forced upon the family are being fiercely guarded. But fragments have escaped through terrified staff. Words like irreversible, private facility, and succession implications were overheard through closed doors. One aide reportedly collapsed upon hearing the full truth. Another immediately requested leave, unable to face the implications. Palace press officers were summoned at 3 a.m. They were shown a draft statement Catherine had already written herself. No input from communications teams, no softening of language. They begged her to wait. She refused. The statement went out exactly as she demanded, and within minutes the carefully constructed narrative of royal stability began to crumble. The hidden truth they tried to silence. For months, subtle signs were dismissed as stress, exhaustion, minor health concerns. William's sudden absences from key events were explained away. Catherine's increasingly strained public smile was chalked up to the pressures of royal life. But insiders now admit a small circle knew the truth was far worse, and they actively worked to keep it from reaching the public. Private medical visits were disguised as routine checkups. Certain doctors were flown in under false names. Medical records were moved to off-site locations. Even trusted household staff were kept in the dark, fed vague excuses while watching William withdraw further. The turning point came 2 weeks ago during a secret weekend at Anmer Hall. What happened there remains locked behind fierce non-disclosure agreements, but those present describe Catherine emerging from a private conversation with William looking like she had aged years in hours. From that moment, she took control. She sidelined advisors who urged caution. She overruled suggestions to delay. And she made the decision that has now sent shockwaves through the entire institution. The heartbreaking news she just released isn't the full story. It's only the beginning. Sources say what Catherine truly wanted to say was deemed too explosive, too damaging. Entire paragraphs were removed at the last second. But even the carefully edited version has left the palace in chaos. Senior royals have been placed on standby. Emergency protocols never before activated are now in motion. And in private WhatsApp groups used by household staff, messages are flying, "It's worse than they are saying. She's protecting him one last time." This changes everything. The world saw a poised princess delivering sad but composed news. What they didn't see was the woman who had just made the hardest choice of her life, and the devastating reality she's still shielding the public from. The explosive secret William begged Catherine to keep. What Catherine announced publicly was heartbreaking enough, but it was only the sanitized version designed to protect the crown at all costs. The full truth is infinitely worse, and it involves a betrayal that goes to the very core of the royal family. Insiders who heard Catherine's unfiltered words in that midnight meeting say she revealed William had been living a double life for over 2 years. Private trips explained as environmental commitments or diplomatic outreach were actually carefully orchestrated rendezvous in secluded European estates far from prying eyes. Encrypted messages routed through burner phones. Large payments funneled through shadowy offshore trusts labeled as charitable donations. The most devastating revelation dropped like a bomb. William fathered a child during one of these prolonged secret affairs. The child, a boy, now 18 months old, is being raised in complete isolation on a remote Scottish Highland property owned through multiple layers of anonymous shell companies. Catherine discovered irrefutable proof 6 weeks ago during a routine security sweep: sealed DNA results, time-stamped photographs, and chilling voice recordings of William tearfully promising the other woman he would leave royal duties behind forever to build a new life. Her carefully worded statement about William's sudden and serious health decline, requiring extended private recovery in a specialist facility? Nothing but a meticulously crafted cover story approved by emergency legal teams. Sources deep inside confirm William hasn't collapsed from any mysterious illness. He has voluntarily entered a highly secure, undisclosed location abroad to escape the impending explosion of this scandal. Catherine's public announcement was her calculated move to buy precious time while elite lawyers frantically negotiate ironclad silence from the other woman and lifelong protection arrangements for the innocent child caught in the crossfire. The cover-up operation now in full swing. Within hours of Catherine's statement hitting the wires, a hand-picked crisis team assembled in a fortified, windowless room deep beneath Buckingham Palace, a space reserved for only the most existential threats to the monarchy. Urgent orders flew out: aggressively scrub digital trails, identify and intimidate potential leakers among household staff, urgently prepare classified contingency plans ranging from temporary regency to full abdication scenarios. One veteran courtier, visibly shaken, was overheard whispering to a colleague, "If even half of this gets out, the monarchy as we know it won't survive the year." Longtime staff personally loyal to William were quietly reassigned overnight to remote postings. Personal phones were confiscated under the guise of security upgrades. Existing NDAs were hastily strengthened with eye-watering 7-figure penalty clauses. The woman at the center of the affair, described in hushed tones as a sophisticated high society figure with her own influential connections, has completely vanished from public view. Reliable sources claim she and the child have already been relocated to a luxurious compound in a non-extradition country, funded indefinitely through discreet royal channels. Yet despite the frantic efforts, dangerous cracks are already appearing in the facade. A young junior aide, utterly distraught after accidentally overhearing the full truth during a late-night briefing, has gone rogue and is actively shopping explosive documents to major international media outlets. Palace insiders are in full panic mode, desperately unsure how many copies of the evidence exist or who else might break ranks. Catherine, for her part, has retreated almost completely to a heavily guarded private wing with the 3 children, refusing all but the most essential contact. Those few granted brief access describe her as transformed overnight, an unbreakable steel resolve barely masking the raw, soul-deep devastation of total betrayal. The final twist that could end it all. But the biggest shock, the one still buried under layers of security, is yet to surface. William left Catherine a sealed, handwritten letter before vanishing into hiding. It was delivered by trusted hand to her private secretary just hours before her public statement went live. Insiders who have glimpsed redacted excerpts say it contains a profoundly emotional apology and a bombshell formal request for divorce on grounds that would shatter centuries of royal protocol into irreparable pieces. Even more explosively, multiple passages in the letter allegedly name a very senior royal family member who not only knew about the long-running affair from the beginning but actively facilitated secret meetings, arranged private travel, and personally approved covering the substantial expenses from private funds. If this name ever leaks to the public, the damage won't be limited to William's reputation alone. The entire carefully constructed house of cards risks total collapse, dragging multiple generations into unprecedented disgrace. Catherine remains locked in agonized isolation, reportedly rereading the letter nightly as she weighs her impossible choices: honor William's desperate wishes and allow a quiet dissolution, or fight ruthlessly to preserve the institution at any personal cost, even if it means sacrificing the man she once loved. Her next move, expected imminently within the coming days, will decide whether this remains a desperately contained crisis or erupts into the defining scandal that finally ends the era of the modern monarchy. The palace isn't just in chaos, they're in free fall because they know the unfiltered truth is already slipping irreversibly through their fingers. What Catherine shared publicly was heartbreaking. What she's still shielding the world from is nothing short of apocalyptic. And multiple terrified sources confirm, it's only a matter of hours or days before the full, unredacted truth explodes into the open, changing everything forever.